Hi, this is like weird. I'm filming on my camera, so if I keep like looking away, I gotta get used to it. So in this video, I thought I would talk about my pre-awakening symptoms. And so let me just say, and I guess I'll make another video about like my personality shifts. I feel like it's weird to say that, but before I used to be such and I'm sorry if I sniffle, like I'm very sensitive to temperatures. But yeah, so like before my awakening, I really did resonate with being an introvert, and now that I, am awakened or more conscious and aware, I'm just not the same person. Like I am the same person, but I've changed, if that makes sense. And it's weird to say that, but it's obvious. You can ask people that know me, like that have worked with me, because I would say the people that I work with, certain people would be able to know more, and those are the people that I work with because I always am at work. So now I'm just more of a positive person, definitely more spiritual. I've always been spiritual, but definitely more spiritual, more happy. I wouldn't say necessarily outgoing, but I'm more comfortable with myself. I believe in myself. I have confidence, and that's completely different than how I used to be. But like I said, I'll do another video on that. So let me just say, I do know that awakening, it's like, I feel like there's different stages. I feel like first part is like being asleep, and then first part is being asleep, and then I feel like you slowly kind of build up to what I call my personal like event, to where there's like a shift in consciousness to where you become aware. And then at that point, you could really say that you spend your whole life awakening, really, but it's not like a one-time event. It's a constant, like, ongoing thing. And I feel like I had my shift in consciousness, but then there are times where you just become even more aware, and that's happened to me, I feel like, as well. So I'll just call this like my pre-awakening, and then I'll do another thing talking about my dark night of the soul experience. But okay, so I would say that I started to realize something was going on in 2015. So I think that's when I started to get on the right track. I've always been interested in hair and makeup. Well, not always, but I guess I've had issues surrounding hair since I was a little girl. And I started to really get interested in makeup and hair in 2011. That kind of started my whole like natural journey. And then I became interested in cosmetology school in 2013, 2014, and actually got signed up in 2014 and started in 2015. So I think that I was starting to get on the right path, if that makes sense. So in 2015, in cosmetology school, I started to see 1111, and 1111 is like the universal code for waking up. And at that time, I didn't really know what it meant. I did Google it, and basically it meant being on the right track, and I was just like, that's cool, but I really didn't know much more than that. And then also 2015 ended up being like a tough year. I made the decision to move apartments, and it might not have been the best decision because it caused us to struggle financially. But I mean, everything did end up okay, if that makes sense. And also in 2015, I was introduced to The Secret, which is about the law of attraction, basically. And I want to say that I've seen The Secret, I want to say that I had seen it in high school, but the time that I can really remember that I had seen it was 2015 in cosmetology school. My teacher had showed it to us. And it really resonated with me, and I started to put some of those practices into place because cosmetology school was difficult for me, just with, like I told you, like my introverted personality. Was hard to feel comfortable knowing that I was so different from everybody. But I can get into that another time. So yeah, I started waking up in 2015 because I started seeing 1111. And then in 2016, 2017, those years were better. So in 2016, that's when I really started to practice like being positive, because that's one of the things that The Secret had talked about. So I'm just kind of like, you know, if this is really gonna work or something like that, I just need to start making it a part of my daily routine. And I started implementing it, but I didn't really stick with it. But the times where I was doing it, it really did help. Like, I did notice that I was getting more confident. I felt better about myself. I was having better days at school, but like I said, I still wasn't sticking with it. And everything is a process. So even though I fell off of it, you know, it is what it is. It's a part of the grand design, basically. So yeah, 2016 I started practicing it, and I got off of it. And then 2017 was better as well. Okay, and then 2018 what ended up to be like the worst year, which I would call my dark night of the soul experience. But I would say my dark night of the year experience, because the whole year was like difficult from beginning to end. Like, that year really broke me down to my core, basically, which I will talk about in another video. And then so after 2018, that's when I got serious about my vision board and about being positive and about asking for signs. So I wanted to make a vision board, I think years before 2018, at least a couple years, but I never got around to it, just excuses, one reason or another. And then in 2018, I just got fed up with not having one. So I literally took a sheet of notebook paper, a green pen, and I drew what I wanted to be on my vision board, just so it could serve, you know, just so I could have one until I was able to go to the library and make my official one. And so I drew my pictures, and I also like wrote down like sentences about my visions, I guess. And then I feel like the vision board is a key part to everything, which I will also want to do a video about. But made my vision board in at the end of 2018, and then in 2019, that's when things started to turn around and get better, I would say. In 2019, I would say about March, April is when I made my like official vision board. And then also I started asking for signs. Like, I don't believe in God. I've never resonated with that word. Like I said, I've always been a spiritual person. I believe in a higher power. So I would just say, you know, I would just talk to the universe. I'd be like, and I would show gratitude. I would just say thank you for, you know, protecting me, my family. Thank you for giving me another day, things like that. That would be like at nighttime. And then in the morning, I would just say thank you again for like waking me up, some stuff like that. And then also at nighttime, I would just be like, please just give me a sign, put me on the right path. And I was getting signs. I wish I could remember when I got my first sign. But when I think about it, I got multiple signs as far as like being an entrepreneur. I just didn't realize what was going on. It really didn't. So I got signs about being an entrepreneur, but it was with a product that I didn't really understand. Like, it was kind of vague and it didn't make sense. And so I struggled with it. And I'm just kind of like, I looked into it, but I didn't really think much about it. Like, after, it just kind of was, it didn't make sense to me. But then I kept getting signs as far as a specific thing to do. And that's the thing about it. Like, your passions, that's where your purpose lies. So I started getting, I started following the trail, basically. And I'll talk more about that also in another video. But basically, I was getting signs, and I realized what, you know, the universe was trying to tell me. And pretty much one thing led to another, and there was this particular video that I really resonated with. And at that point in time, that's when I realized that something was going on, like, much bigger than me. And I'll speak in detail about that in another video. But that pretty much led to my awakening. So I guess to sum it all up, I think what really led to my awakening was just me, my dark year of the soul experience. And then, you know, just getting so low to a point that I never want to return to. And also just realizing that, you know, I don't even know if I realized that I should start asking for help, but I'm just kind of like, I just started to put my intent out there, you know, like with the vision board. I feel like it's crucial. Like, for example, I heard Oprah doesn't make vision boards anymore, and I understand that. But I think when you're just starting out, I feel like vision boards are very crucial to getting on the right track and to putting your intent out there. And so yeah, getting low, my vision board, and then also just asking for signs and guidance and asking to be put on the right path. That's what led to my awakening. And in the next video, I will discuss in detail exactly what I'm talking about. Like I won't go like too in depth with a specific product, but I will talk about like the example as far as when I felt like things were starting to shift. So thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate, you know, your attention. And if you have any like requests or any questions, leave those down below. And that's part of the reason why I want to share my journey, is because I've lived a whole life of like being concerned about what other people think of me. I no longer care about that. And I realized that the reason I am different, you know, the reason I was quiet and the reason I've had this like shift in awareness is so that I can share my experience with other people and to lead them. I hate saying the word lead, but guide them to accepting, you know, themselves so that they can be free and do the things that they're meant to do. Because we're not, I mean, everybody has a different path, but we're not meant to live in fear. We're not meant to struggle. We're not meant to be afraid to be who we really are. And, you know, I lived like 28 years like that. So if I can help someone else, you know, step away from that, that truly makes me happy. I've already gotten comments about how inspirational I am, and I hate saying that because I mean, I never used to like attention, never, but I've gotten more comfortable with it. But I don't like being considered like, it's just weird, I guess, to be called inspirational and to have people tell me that they look up to me. Like, I know that's my purpose, that's why I'm here, but I guess that's something that I'm still getting comfortable with, you know? So again, thank you, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.